Welcome to Spirit School. I'm your mentor, Danielle Sarank, also known as the Squamish Medium. In this podcast, I share honestly all I have learned about the mediumship and spiritual development journey. My intention is to normalize these conversations, to make way for a more confident, clear, and connected wave of lightworkers, serving the world of spirit with an open and joyful soul. Welcome again to Spirit School. Hello, and welcome back to Spirit School. I'm so excited for you to be here today. I am going to be sharing another reading with you today, this time with Mo, who is a lovely Instagram follower of mine. But before I get into the prep for the reading with Mo, I just wanted to share with you a voice memo sent to me by Molly, who was the last person I shared a reading for. So she just wanted to give a little bit of an update. So I'll play that here before we get into Mo's reading.
Hi Danielle, it's Molly. I just wanted to drop a voice message to you about my reading. I loved it. I love your energy. I love the way you speak. It resonates with me. Friends and families heard it, that I shared it with, and basically they scheduled a reading with a medium afterwards. So it really helped them understand and feel comfortable with the whole process, which was awesome and kind of like the point to why you're doing it. But there was a bunch of things that like resonated with me afterwards. You know, there was like a Peter Pan term you like threw out, which my friend actually played Peter Pan when he was a little kid. And the healing and the dreams, like basically all my healing has been through dreams with people that have passed, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, you mentioned so many things. I don't even have enough time to say it, but I just wanted to highly recommend you. I'm excited to work with you soon. Thanks.
So they are very exciting. Thank you so much, Molly, for sending that in. It's always so great as a reader to hear back from clients and let them know some different realizations that may have come through, different things that may be understood that weren't at the time. That's always extra validating and something a lot of readers don't get to receive. So thank you very much for this. Okay, so my next reading I'll be sharing on Spirit School, the Spirit School sessions, is with Mo. Now, after I released the Molly episode, I did receive a couple dozen messages from listeners, and thank you all. I love receiving all your messages asking them like, pick me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I could pick absolutely everyone. I do. But I did feel very drawn to work with Mo. And so we had a great time together. I actually didn't do very much to prepare for the session. I remember posting something on Instagram like 2 minutes before we had to hop online. And so I do want to bring that up because I feel like a lot of people who are just starting out, and this was me back in the day too, was I did feel so much that I had to make everything super sacred and I couldn't, not cleanse my chakras before I connected with the world of spirit. And I used to have like a lot of different hangups. But ever since I've recognized within myself that I have just a very spiritual lifestyle. I'm somebody who meditates every day. I sit in the power regularly. I'm in constant communication with the world of spirit. I'm constantly serving. So I live a very spiritual life. So I don't typically feel the need to do a whole lot before my session. So I just wanted to say that if you are someone who needs to lift your vibration in a certain way, don't hesitate to create your own rituals. And this is what we talk about in the initiation program, which registration opens next week. I'm so excited. The wait list gets seats this Friday before I open up to public on the 1st. But I have a whole section on this on preparing and grounding before and after sessions. So I didn't do a whole lot to prepare, and I'll talk you through the grounding after the reading. So this was a big fun one for me. I really enjoyed this session with her, and I'll give you the debrief after. So enjoy this reading with Mo.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sitting with me today.
So we're going to spend about 20-30 minutes together, and we'll just kind of see what happens. I am a medium, but I also work psychically. I also connect with angels and spirit guides. And so my intention is always just to meet the need of the soul. And so we'll see who comes through, what information comes through for you. And what I need just from you is like, if you understand something, if you don't understand something, and because this is a podcast, I just need your voice because people won't be able to see us interact. So I'll just need your voice. So, Mo, have you ever had a reading before?
So let me put it this way. My parents are Nigerian.
Don't tell me too much.
And it's just like we're just used to like maybe when you go to church and someone's in the spirit, they give you messages and
yeah,
you know what? So it's not something, but I've never like come to someone like you, like, oh, come do a reading for me. It's usually maybe in the church or in
right.
Right. So this is new to me and I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I'm glad that we were able to work this out. So, okay. So what I'll do is I'll just open up my awareness to the world of spirit and we'll just kind of see what comes through first. So just give me a second here while I connect. So I am drawn to a male that steps forward first for you. I do feel that there are two spirits here to speak with you. I do feel they may be married because I'm playing with my ring. And so usually that's significant to marriage. I am leaning towards dad's side and I am leaning towards like dad's dad or your dad. Do you have your dad here though?
He's here. He's alive.
Okay. So then I want to go towards like his family here just for a minute. Do you know that his dad is passed on into the spirit world? Okay. Now the energy that this gentleman impresses upon me is kind of funny because I'm hearing this like really boisterous kind of voice come through, a really hearty laugh. I'm hearing like somebody who really likes to laugh, but there's also this, this pride that this person has that I have to say, because they are making me feel like I need to be very proper in front of them. I can't like mess around. There's a little bit of this strictness to them. I will say though that the female that I feel with him is kind of a little bit more to the side. And so she may step through first. Do you know that his wife is also passed? Can you validate that? Okay, so just know I feel them come through together, but this gentleman needs to come through first. Okay. Now he does take me to throat and chest with him. So I don't know if you are aware of him having an ailment that would have affected his like heart and his throat, like an ability to communicate at the end, but also around the heart. Do you understand this? Any of this that I'm bringing so far?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Is this person necessarily like my grandfather or something?
I feel you might have to tell me. I was leaning to the left. Usually when I lean to the left, it's connected to dad's side, but I'm not always correct with that. Who are you feeling this could be based off of what I've described so far?
My dad's dad died when he was 2 years old.
Okay.
So I have he literally has no knowledge of who he was or anything. But then I was thinking, is it, because you said two men, and I know someone who has passed that always appears to me and tries to talk to me and comes with message. However, he was someone that I dated.
Okay.
And I feel that he does have a wife that has also passed. I feel that he maybe had issues with, that's something that I know of, like couldn't really communicate at the end of the journey. Mm-hmm. So I'm not quite sure whichever you think might be the...
Okay. Well, we'll just see what else they can bring through and we'll see if it can help kind of clarify anything. I did feel earlier like I wanted to ask you, but trying not to ask too many questions. I'm like, would you even be able to validate a lot with grandpa, right? Because of the way that he was impressing upon me. Mm-hmm. But am I correct to say that you would be able to validate more about the woman that would be to his side, meaning his wife? Like, did you know her?
I heard more about her.
Okay. So let me just stay with this just for a minute, okay? Because I did feel it come through very strongly. And sometimes the first spirit that comes through is just somebody who brings people with them, okay? So let's just kind of see what happens here. You might be able to validate some things later when you connect in with your dad if you are open to asking about this. You may not be. That's perfectly fine as well. But I will say that like memories or conversations around this person would have been around like a big laugh. I do feel that there's definitely a serious side to this person, but this person was really known for like their voice and their laughter. I can hear it very, very clearly. Now, also a lot of responsibility, I have to say. Like there's like a lifestyle that this person had that was like hard work. And this is someone who had to like work really hard for the family. Do you understand this with dad's dad based off what you know?
Yes.
Okay. And so there was a really, like, I know he passed when your dad is quite young, but he may be able to validate that this was somebody who was really there for the family. Like, he did really want to work for family. You understand this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I have to say that the energy that he is bringing in for me, and this is coming through my crown, like I just feel so strong. I just feel like this is what he's kind of come here to say, is around, I'm sorry that I couldn't be there while you were being brought up. Because he does also bring to my awareness that though I do feel that his wife did end up finding another partner, it may not have been for quite some time. So I do feel like there's a big gap in your dad's life where he didn't have a male role model. Do you understand this? Okay, can you say yes?
Yes, yes. I'm
Okay.
sorry. Yes. I was just nodding, agreeing to you. Sorry for not speaking.
It's okay, honey. It's just something I've noticed from the past few readings. I was like, I think the listeners really need to hear yes because they're not going to say yes on camera.
Yes, I agree to that.
Yeah. So I just need to just pass along this quick message from him before I bring in this other woman, because I feel like she just really wants to come and she's like, it's my turn. It's my turn. I will connect in with her for a second. But what I have to say around your dad's dad is this apology around, I'm sorry that you went so long without this male role model, because the way that he's making me feel is it has impacted your dad and his fathering and his parenting, and his ability to fully show up emotionally, inspirationally for you guys. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm covered in shivers. I feel like this is something that like really needs to be said as part of like the family lineage healing, right? And like you would be, and is there 4 of you? Like, are there 4 children?
From my mother to my father, there are 3 of us. There should have been 4 of us, but there are 3 of us. So you got that right.
Okay, because he's showing me there was 4. So did one pass then, unfortunately? Okay, so thank you for validating that. So yeah, he was showing me he had 4 kids, and I feel for him because he's doing the best he can. But with me passing so young, he didn't have that role model experience, and that is kind of influencing the way that he parents.
And so I'm sorry to cut you off. I think he had 4 kids himself too.
Okay, well, fascinating.
Right, before he passed, he had 4 kids.
He's having me, he's like, you need to talk about 4, you need to talk about 4. Okay, but I know that there was some questions beyond his passing. I'm not going to go too much into it because you won't be able to validate it. It might have been a little bit controversial, or it might have been like a little bit like, why did you do that? Like, why? Like, there's some questions around it from people, but he really wants the family to know that if he could have chosen, he would have stayed. Like, he really wanted to stay. That was part of his desire. And so he has been doing the best he can from the heaven side. But I also get a feeling around dad's energy that he may not be so open to this kind of stuff. Right? I don't think that he thinks about stuff like this.
You're so right. You're so on point about that.
So he's like, I'm trying to talk to my son and like, you know, make amends kind of thing and like let him know this, but he's just like so
he's
not
open that kind of person at all. At all. I wouldn't even have this conversation with him. This is for my healing, for his shortcomings to me as a father.
Yes. So he is making me very much aware that this is very important for the lineage healing. So just know, like, and accept that he's taking acceptance of this and just wanting to give you this kind of like healing message to let you know you're not crazy, right? And like, you're not like being too sensitive and you're not, you know, you feel that?
Yes.
Yes. And this is very important from him. Okay. And so that's important too, because he's also making me feel very aware that you feel like, you know, the black sheep in the family. It's like, where do I fit in with this group of people?
That's right. You're correct.
And so he does make me feel that a lot of that stems from childhood, like just always feeling very different and always feeling like, you have deeper questions, and like the family that you've been aligned with doesn't go that deep. Everything kind of feels surface. You understand this?
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah. So like there's this yearning for connection, like really deep connection that you feel like you're missing in your life. You understand this?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. He does make me feel very much. He's a very important spirit messenger for you. I feel like this is somebody who has been kind of inspiring you through your life. Like I do get a really good energy from this guy. And I do feel like he has been somebody who's been spiritually inspiring you as you go along. So just know that you do have family on the other side who is open to this type of stuff and really supporting you on this path. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Now, can I ask you something? Have you struggled with finding a really aligned partner for yourself?
Finding a what?
Like a really aligned partner for yourself?
Yes, yes.
Because he made me play with my rings, like I kind of talked about before. And I was like, okay, I need to talk about like life partner with you. He's like, oh my God, this girl has struggled.
I have.
Yes, he's just like, she kept attracting these people who needed so much work, right? And it's because you have seen in your relationships through your life that they all require so much work.
So much. So much.
Yes. And he's just sitting here like, it doesn't have to be that hard. I promise you, it doesn't have to be that hard. It's really around the sign that he gives me about really kind of like honoring and finding your inner light, your inner strength. And it's going to be like this attractant to the right person. And it's almost foregoing this belief system that relationships have to be hard. That's one of your life themes is relationships.
Correct.
Right? You feel this?
Yes,
and
I
so,
do.
one of his big messages for you around this is that relationships don't have to be hard. They can be easy. And so he wants you to eliminate that belief that they do have to be hard work, and work on that one thing, like from inside out, and just accepting that you're like, I picked this family for a reason. Okay. Like that contract was made. And a lot of times when we pick families that are like out of alignment, like we put into air quotes around that, it's because we're on a real deep self-discovery path. You understand this?
Got it. Yes, I do.
So you don't have the support systems that you see other people have within their family containers. And that's because one of your big things in this life is to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, complete inner power. You feel this?
Yes, I do. I do.
So what he's showing me is you connect, like he's actually visually showing me you connecting to the light within, right? So whether that's like sitting in a meditation and visualizing where your spirit resides in your physical experience and just feeling the power of that internal light. He's like, once you connect in with that piece of yourself, everything else is just going to start unfolding for you with more grace and ease. But you've been shown through the way that you were raised and with the family container that you have that life is hard. And it has to be hard and it's a struggle. And that's a lie. That's a lie. He's saying that to me. He's like, that's a lie.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
I really like his energy. So I have to talk about the woman coming through too with him because she's just like, okay, my turn. Now, I do feel like you would have known her longer, at least until your teens. Do you understand this? Did you ever meet her?
No, I didn't. What
happened? You go. No, you go.
She died. I came to the world exactly a year after she died. But where I'm from, they were like, she came back. I came back as her.
Oh.
That's the belief.
That's the belief. Okay. Well, I will say, because when I was connecting into that, she kept giving me the number 14 to you. So I kept thinking, is it 14 years old? So I'm going to see if she can unfold this for me. So don't give me anything yet, because I'm like, give me what you mean around 14. This woman, hopefully you can understand, or maybe this is, if your family belief is that you are her reincarnated or whatnot, I can't validate that. We'll see if that kind of comes through, but maybe this personality will resonate with you then, because the way that she makes me feel, stand back, like I got this. Okay. Like this really kind of powerful sovereign energy around this woman. She also takes me to a lot of connections around food, which is kind of typical with women, but I want to talk about really traditional foods. Okay. Like like in my indigenous culture, we have like a bread called bannock, and it's like, ooh, fry bread, bannock. And it's like this almost like bread that's kind of like known in your family to come down. Do you know this? Like, are you understanding this, what I'm putting down?
My father, not really, although I know my father loved bread. Like he loved bread more than anything, but I
Mhm.
really can't pinpoint it to anything right now.
Okay, so this might come up later. So just trust me on this. Sometimes when spirit comes through in this way, okay? So trust that because his dad came through, I feel very much at a soul level, your dad's actually hearing what's going on right now. And like there's like at a soul level, this opening that will happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day you're with your dad and he starts talking about this bread that his mom used to make him.
I
Okay.
will definitely let you know.
You let me know because I see this happen all the time. And for all the practice readers who are out there, you'll hear she doesn't understand. I'm not rocked at all. Like I'm completely in my power still because I believe so much that this is what she's showing me. And I believe so much that this will be evidence that will be validated later. So this is how come the ripple effect of a reading is really powerful because they give me things that will be able to be validated later. So I have a feeling your dad at some point this year, very soon, because I'm seeing summertime, will talk about this bread that his mom made him. And it was like, and I feel very much that he actually knows how to make it. So we'll wait and see. And I feel very much that this might be something that ends up getting passed down to you. Just know, because you won't be able to validate very much for them. And I just appreciate that. This woman just really wants to come in to reaffirm for you. You must ask this to your ancestors. You must ask, are you there? Do you hear me? And so she really wants to just come in saying, we are here watching you. Okay. Is this something that you've contemplated before?
Yes, yes, it is.
Now it's hard as an evidential medium because typically we come up with things that like you would be able to validate. And so I'm trying to just stay with her energy and see what comes through. Okay, so there's just two things that I was seeing from her about watching you from the heaven side of things. There was a very special place for you as a kid by where you grew up, and it was like a water hole or like a lake or a river or something. But there's lots of memories of you in those really young, free years before we're damaged by life, where you spent a lot of time by water. Do you understand this?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I see that there's lots of people there. Like I feel like it was kind of like the neighborhood hangout or like where you kids would hang out. Do you understand this?
Yes, yes, you're right.
Okay. So when I ask her, what can you show me that can be validated as evidence? Because that's my own need. I'm like, I need to know I'm connected. She loved watching you in your freest days being around water and like playing in the water and laughing and connecting. She makes me feel like these memories you had were very like innocent and like vibrant experiences. Do you resonate with this?
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay.
I
So
do.
she wants you to really remember and embody those experiences because those are also part of you. Like I feel very much like she says you've been knocked down by life quite a bit. There are certain things that have come up for you, but there was times in your life where you were vibrant and innocent and joyful and expressive. And so she says that that little girl is inside of you,
She said that little girl is what?
still inside of you.
Oh, okay.
She's still you and you're still her. So she's really wanting you to kind of tune into some kind of lighthearted innocence because that is a part of you and just like accessing that part of you. Do you understand this, what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And so and when she's watching this unfold in your life, she's like, oh my God, I loved watching that. So just know I saw that. And then I also have to say that the next memory that she showed me was you graduating. Okay. Because I was seeing you get some sort of like degree, or this could be high school, but she makes me feel, did you graduated from high school? Is that right? You had a graduation? Okay, that's fair enough.
It was from elementary school.
Okay, because I was seeing you like being handed something. It looked to me like it was like a diploma and it was like education related. And I have to say too, this was just another thing that she showed me that was a moment where she was like, I was there, I was there, I was there. Okay. I have to say though, now part of this could be her and part of this could be you, because I'm feeling some of this information come from in front of me, but I do feel that there is a desire from you to get some sort of education, like expanded education. Have you been feeling that lately?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so just know like that's probably why this was kind of like leading into this, because they're making me feel there's this yearning and this capability to really take education and continue with it. You understand this?
Yes, I do.
So just know spirit is validating for you that that is completely in your realm of potential and like a
Okay.
really great potential.
Okay.
Okay. And they get really excited, but I can see the smile on your face. Like you get kind of excited about it.
Yes.
I also feel very much that you are what spirit is showing me is that and now I'm using spirit more general because I feel like there's like a collection of energy behind me that is here for you, and they're making me feel that there really is this desire for you. There's this question you have, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, she's giving a thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Yes. And there's like this question. I feel this is kind of guide energy coming forward. They're like, yeah, she is just like questioning. Like, what am I supposed to do here? But they do make me feel that you have this habit of like pursuing something, but only so far. It's kind of like there's like this like give up itis that you have. You understand this?
Yes, I do. Completely, totally, absolutely.
Yes. And so they really make me feel like for you, it's going to be in the keep going. And for some reason, did you take like a Reiki thing and you're not doing Reiki or something? Like, because they're making me feel like you have like healing abilities.
I was told that I'm supposed to be a spiritual guide, like something like kind of like what we're doing right now. And I kind of did sign up for it, but never attended anything that I never, ever.
I'm shaking my finger at Mo right now. So this is super evidential for me. This is why I also love guide energy, right? Because it's always about forward movement, like in an empowered way. And they're validating, like they're trying to draw you, like, yes, to the education, like the higher education for sure, but that's going to be for your own confidence, right? They're making me feel like that's going to increase your confidence. But there is this other area of development that you'll be doing, which is healing. Now, the way that they were showing me was actually like hands-on healing, but I also get the sense that you're going to be motivating other people with your voice. Okay. So it makes sense to me that you would have grown up being seen and not heard. Like there was this kind of like energy, like you are seen and not heard. Can you validate that?
Yes, I can.
So there's this wound that my voice doesn't matter. And people who are meant to speak to people and make an impact usually come in with that wound to overcome it, to really kind of have something powerful to say. You get me?
Yes.
Okay. So now going back a little bit, spirit was showing me, and I feel it's like your spirit team. It's a collection. You have a lot of people, like you have a lot of spirit here. It's not just one guide. It's like quite a few guides with you from all different modalities, but they're saying like, we've been bringing her to what we want her to do, but she like doesn't take like the next steps. And so spirit wants you to like trust your intuition, that you are guided to these things because they're going to get you to where you're going to be going, and you are going to be working with people and you are going to be helping people heal, right? So people who help other people heal usually have the most to heal. Okay. That's kind of what I say, like mediums usually have a really colorful past because we need to have a lot of references to work with.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Have you crossed the age of 40 yet?
No.
Okay, you don't look it anyways. I'm just going to ask, how old are you?
I am 28. I'm going to be 29 in about 2 months.
Okay, so I will say that they were bringing me to the age of 40, and please don't get freaked out by that number, okay? Because it's not going to be like nothing's going to happen between now and then. But they do make me feel like the next, until you reach 40 is all going to be the journey. It's going to be, but it's going to be a fun journey. It's going to be like drawn to take this, like serving to do this, and interests will kind of shift and change. And that is actually the journey. So never get hung up on black and white, put in a box. This is what I'm meant to do, right? Like I do mediumship readings, but I also do angel stuff, and I do end of life doula work. Like I'm not just in a small box, and I don't want to be. And so spirit is making me feel that you kind of have this black and white mentality. It's like this or this, all or nothing. You get this?
A friend said that to me a couple of years ago, and I was so happy when he said it. He was like, the whole world sees rainbows and all you see is white and black. And I was like, yeah, it took me until last year to realize that that is an effed up mentality.
Yeah, but it's a product of programming based off your upbringing, right? And so
Yes.
this is why grandfather wanted to come in and say it's not your fault. Like it's not your fault that you have these kind of like conditionings and thoughts. But once we accept them, once we accept that they are a part of our story, once we accept that, we can pivot onto the next phase, right? But until that acceptance happens, we're just bypassing. And so I would love for you as an exercise after this to look through everything you feel is holding you back from like fulfilling your destiny without having to know exactly what that is, because that's going to unfold and be a lot of divine free will based off of whatever lights you up between everything that spirit brings forward to you. But if you can get this list and just start with acceptance, I accept that I'm an all or nothing person at this point of view, right? In life, I can accept that. But I do desire to see rainbows now. So it's not until you accept that you see everything in black and white that you can then start to see rainbows. You get me?
Right.
So do a list of everything that you think is holding you back from the relationship of your dreams, the career of your dreams, the purposeful life that you want to feel, and just go through the exercises of accepting them all and then proceed on. And then the energy will shift and more things will start to kind of come to you. Okay. So spirit does make me feel very much that by the time you hit 40, you're like living life, right? You're just like, I know what I'm here to do. So between now and then, I need you to kind of like chill a bit and just experience life and like have this human experience, screw up a few times, try everything, learn to stick through certain things, and then things will get way more clear for you. But I will say that one thing they are very clearly showing me is you healing people with your energy. So they're showing it to me through hands, like laying of hands, as well as using your voice to motivate others. Jonathan the medium, that's how we know each other, right? Like I'm seeing like his vibes, like how he just inspires. You're just like, oh my God, I was talking to him this morning. I'm like, every time I talk to you, I'm like, I'm just moved. I'm moved.
Yes, I do know him.
Yes, and you have that same energy. So they make me feel that this is kind of what you're going to be coming into. How do you feel when I say that?
My very first meeting with Jonathan, that was what he told me. He was like, we came up on Zoom. First time, he doesn't know anything about me. I don't know anything about him. And he's like, you're supposed to be doing what I'm doing. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, you keep that to yourself. So that was the very first word he uttered to me.
Yes. Yes. And so use me as an extra validation, right? What do I keep hearing? I hear you phrase in my head like, you're crazy. You're not crazy. I'm like, do you say that a lot? Because that's coming up all the time with you.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. All the time. Like,
he's not crazy. I'm not crazy. You're not crazy.
That's me. That's definitely me in your head.
Yes. And so one other thing I want to leave you with is part of this is like your spirit team is very close to you and they are here. And because you don't have the support systems at this point of time to really be nurtured in your curiosity of what you want to do, your spirit team is really saying, we're here, just call us in. And then they're saying that if you can just speak to them like they're your best friend, it doesn't have to be like, light a candle and like get into this place. Like they are here even just through transfer of thought, but I want you to talk to them a little bit more. I want you to say, Danielle says, like, I could just talk to you and you'll bring through evidence that you're around. Like, can you bring me, one of my favorite things to do is like, hey, Skylar, like, let's have some fun today. Can you bring me the name Fido like 3 times, like in the next 24 hours, like super random. Sure enough, there's like a Fido commercial on TV and I never watch TV. And I see my daughter brings home a book that is like Fido the dog. And like, so you can actually ask them for things like this so that they can give you proof that they are here to support you and you can lean on them and trust them. You feel this?
Yes, I do.
And this is going to be the next phase of your spiritual unfoldment and spiritual curiosity. Okay.
Okay.
So how do you feel?
I felt wonderful. And I think for me, what was mind-blowing was grandfather coming through and talking about how him not being here led to the shortcomings of my own father. Because I didn't talk to my father for 11 years. I recently started talking to him, and I'm only 28, so I'm really young. I didn't talk to him for 11 years. I recently started talking to him last year when I just randomly, my sister posted a birthday message to him, and I saw his age, and I was like, he's 65. He might drop dead at any time. So I might as well just go ahead and talk to him before he dies. And it's been slowly but surely, not anything. Because sometimes I'm like, well, I've forgiven him. And I just remember something and I'm like, no, it shouldn't be that way. And I just hold back a little. So it was kind of like I found my healing in this reading, like in this little time that we had that, well, he didn't have a father there for him. So he really couldn't have known what it's like to be. So that alone, that wasn't all I got. Like everything. And then from you letting me know about my childhood, we would go to the beach every Saturday and would play in water. Like I didn't even, all I knew was the water. I had no worry, no care in the world about anything. And like I always say, like I literally had the most happiest childhood. And then somewhere along the way, it just became like a windstorm some way, somehow. So that again, and then you telling me now about healing people, touching people, like Jonathan and I go back and forth about this all the time. And I'm like, no, Jonathan, like you do that. That's for you. That's not for me. You do your job and just leave me. About the education, definitely. I recently went back to school in January.
Yay!
So definitely I saw you. And that was as a result of, as it came up for you, it came up for Jonathan. He's actually the reason I went back to school. Because, yeah, it came up in our very first reading. So I know that everything you said along the lines were, and I'm sure they're happy to, because they told me they wanted me to go back. So when you said she was there with the degree seeing me, it was a message from my ancestors to go back to school and get the degree. So she was probably happy that I did what I had to do and I'm back enrolled now. So that wasn't, that there was understanding of it. I don't think there's anything you said that I did not understand, except for maybe the recipe, which I'm sure, like with all the, with everything that we spoke about, I'm sure that it'll come along some way, somehow. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm incredibly proud of you. Like, and I feel like this comes from spirit too. Thank you for sharing all that with me. And the way that they were making me feel about your higher education is like, this is what's going to catapult your confidence. And when we have confidence from the inside out, not conditional to external validation, when we have that, there's not much that can fuck with us, right? Like literally, it's like no toxic relationships. It's like they're not even in the energetic field of confidence. So I'm just sending you my very best on that journey, and I would be very invested to know how everything pans out for you. So please do keep in touch with me.
Definitely, I will. Thank you so much. I appreciated it.
Thank you, Mo.
So much. It was wonderful. I got a lot from this.
Yay. A lot. Awesome. Thank you, Mo. So that was my reading with Mo, completely unedited. I just edited the pleasantries at the beginning before we got started. So a couple things to note from a reader's perspective. One, very early on in our conversation, she started giving me a little bit of background about her family and her heritage. So I had to come out and just simply say, like, don't tell me too much, don't tell me too much, because as a medium, it's easier for us to connect for you more clearly the less we know about you or your family or your heritage. So I had to kind of like own my power in that moment, just say, oh, don't tell me too much. And she didn't, which was great. Second thing to pay attention to at the very beginning was I was connecting in with her father's father, who she couldn't validate a whole lot. Now, sometimes when I'm connecting in with somebody who the person here did not know and cannot validate a lot of the typical information I would bring through, such as personalities, even for other people, maybe appearances, other than what she may have seen in photos. I still felt so drawn to stay with the spirit. So typically I would go to spirit and just say, is there somebody who can come through who this person would be able to validate a lot of information? But for some reason in my knowing, I just knew that this gentleman was a main figure who needed to bring through some messages, and he did. He came through. Even at one point in the reading, Mo started talking about an ex-partner or a friend that was a younger male in spirit, and she did introduce this information. Now, because I've been doing mediumship for a long time, I was able to stay with the energy that was originally coming through. As much as I would love to follow the energy that she's gifting me, okay, let's tune into friend. I'm like, no, I know this is dad's dad. Let me just stick with this energy. And I'm really glad I did. But I only do that now as a more confident medium. Early in my early years, I probably would have followed her energy and been like, okay, she doesn't know her dad's dad, so I'm just going to move on to whoever this spirit is. And I'm sure it would have worked out fine as well. But this was a good test for me to know, nope, I know that this is coming from dad's side, so I'm just going to stick with this spirit. And things were able to get validated in the end. He brought through information that was not so much about him, but about the relationship with his own son, Mo's father. And that is very evidential. It's emotional evidence. And so she was able to validate enough that gave us both peace of mind that I was very connected to her ancestor. Now, when her grandmother came in, who I was very surprised she also didn't get to know very well, but that happens. What I did is, instead of bringing through again the information I typically bring through in a reading, so it should be like the personality, the relationship, memories that they shared with one another, I did go to her grandmother and said, okay, I can feel you here. I know that you're here. Can you show me something that can be validated that you've seen since you've passed in her life? And she kept taking me to these childhood memories in the water, which later on the reading was a very impactful piece of information that came through. So, and she also brought me through the information around the graduation. And I was seeing her walk across the stage with the graduation. So in my logical mind, I was like, oh, she saw you graduate. And in my mind, I was thinking this must have been a big deal for the family. But little did we both know until near the end of the reading that the graduation is yet to come, but it is coming. And so that should be able to give Mo inspiration on her life to move forward on the path that she's currently on. This is what I love about spirit communication. And this is what I love about varying pieces of evidence. Not everything is about the past. A lot of times spirit really wants to bring through current and future information to help inspire and uplift and motivate their loved ones here in spirit. So I felt that this was a really impactful reading for Mo, and it was a lot of fun for me. She was an incredibly open energy. She was so down to earth. It was really easy for me to connect in with her energy. So much so I was even able to bring through some psychic and guide stuff. And, even that was a little bit evidential in the sense where when I told her I wanted to talk about her purpose/career, her face lit up, like she gave 2 thumbs up. It's like, this is what I came for. Did I tell her what to do? No, but I do trust and I do feel very much that she got the inspiration she needs to move forward in a positive way. So overall, I feel really great about the reading experience. I know that Mo got a lot out of it. We have been in touch ever since that reading, and she's taking the Language of Spirit course right now to understand her own intuitive abilities a little bit more. So I'm really excited for that. I'm incredibly honored that she sat with me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about the reading, but really I just wanted to say to ground afterwards. I did have a full day of work, so I didn't do a typical grounding as if I was going to, kind of tune out for the whole day. I did keep the energy high because I went into teaching and mentoring right after. But if you wanted to practice something grounding, I would just say a little prayer of gratitude and thanks to the spirits that came through, the spirit guides, the loved ones departed, and also Mo's soul and Mo's energy. And I would envision my aura coming into just a few inches around me. And I would focus on the in and out breath going through my body, through the ground, connecting me into Mother Earth. But since I had a whole day of teaching after that, I just kind of went on with my day, kept the vibes high, and it was an incredible day in the end. So this is the reading with Mo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would love to hear what you thought. And yeah, If you're interested in learning more about mediumship development, the initiation program, the 6-week Mediumship Foundations experience, registration opens on Friday. For the waitlist, you can hit the link in the show notes if you're interested in being on that waitlist, and it will open to general public on June 1st. And I have a number in my mind how many participants I'll accept in, but the registration will close on June 19th and we start June 21st. I'm really excited for this round. We're going to be focusing all the mentorship calls. There'll be 6 mentorship calls through the 6 weeks, and we'll be focusing on confidence. And so all the calls will be geared towards philosophy and teachings and techniques around building confidence in yourself and your abilities. So I'm really, really excited for that. So you get 6 calls with me. You get 30 class modules, which are all the things that you need for the foundations of mediumship development. You get a very interactive Facebook community with all the other students, 2 practice readings a week, and weekly spirit circles. I'm so excited. I'm also going to be giving 2 people the opportunity to win a reading or a mentorship session with me from the registrants for this round. I'm very, very excited for that. There's also an optional opportunity to upgrade your registration to include a one-on-one mentorship session with me. So that's it. I will be back with another episode on managing relationships with spouses and partners who are not interested in spiritual things. And then I will be posting a reading with Emma next. So thank you for joining me into Spirit School. I love you guys. Leave a rating and review if this episode touched you. Hit me up on Instagram at Squamish Medium if you have any comments or feedback. Would love to hear it, and have a great day. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Spirit School. If you did, please leave me a review and a rating wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you do feel called to share this with your friends, thank you for tagging me on Instagram at Squamish Medium so I can also share. It really helps get the word out about the podcast. If you're interested in working with me in my one-on-one mentorship, a reading, or all the various programs that I run, you can go to squamishmedium.com or check me out on Instagram at Squamish Medium. The link in the bio has everything I am currently working on in service to the world of spirit. Have a great day, guys.